www.healthcmi.com. Acupuncture, continuing education online today. Acupuncture, intestinal microflora finding relieves ulcer. An article of this title was published at healthcmi.com on June 14, 2020. Simply go to healthcmi.com, click on news, and look for the article. So this one is very interesting. Acupuncture is found effective for the treatment of stress-induced gastric ulcers. In a controlled laboratory study, Beijing University of Traditional Chinese Medicine researchers determined that acupuncture outperforms a powerful drug for the alleviation of stress-induced gastric ulcers, while simultaneously balancing the intestinal microflora. So this was a lab experiment. Again, it wasn't a human clinical trials. But what they did find was in a broad spectrum measurement of the intestinal flora, acupuncture had a balancing effect. Now, going to the article, you're going to see all the acupuncture points used and the serum changes in interleukin 4, interleukin 6, other anti-inflammatory and pro-inflammatory cytokines, things like that. So you can see the lab results, but what the takeaway from this is very important, and this goes to the heart of what Chinese medicine does. And incidentally, this was done with two very simple acupuncture points, CV12 Zhengwan and stomach 36, Zhu San Li. That acupuncture has a powerful ability to regulate the sympathetic and parasympathetic output of the autonomic nervous system. In other words, it can take the stress out of the internal organs, and that causes hypersecretion of gastric acid through the GI tract. So that is one of the great fortes of Chinese medicine, acupuncture in particular, is to quickly down-regulate excess sympathetic nerve system outflows. And here we see measurements of what those effects are. So the researchers conclude, and I quote, compared with the blind control group, the gastric model group had a significant reduction in content of serum IL-4 and a significant increase in content serum IL-6. They explained inflammatory cytokines are responsible for regulating cellular immunity and maintaining internal homeostasis, and they add, quote, the imbalance between pro-inflammatory and cytokine IL-6 and the anti-inflammatory cytokine IL-4 plays a key role in the occurrence and development of SGU, and that refers to stress-induced gastric ulcer. So again, there's pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory factors in the body, and acupuncture was able to homeostatically regulate the balance between them. We don't want too much of one and too little of another, and vice versa. So they also got into the actual type of proteobacteria, etc., in the intestine, and they give a list of those things as well and how they change. This is no surprise. When you take stress out of the system, when you relax the body, when you relax the nervous system outflows to the internal organs, that is going to allow for a natural microflora balance by simply not having an overly acidic environment in the gastric mucosa. So an interesting study, something to take a look at. You can get all the particulars at healthcmi.com by clicking on news and taking a look for the article entitled Acupuncture, Intestinal Microflora Finding Relieves Ulcer, published June 14, 2020. Thank you for listening. I'm Adam White, licensed acupuncturist. Until next time, www.healthcmi.com.